Well, the rising cost of electricity is the #1 issue for businesses in our area. That's according to the Windsor-Essex Regional Chamber of Commerce. It says the cost of electricity has gone up 400% in recent years, and it's calling for a new framework to ensure that smart electricity decisions take place. Joining me live in studio to talk a little bit more about that framework is Matt Marchand, who is the president and CEO of the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce, live with me this evening. Thanks for joining me, Matt.
Thanks for having me on the show.
400%, that is a huge number. How will the framework actually help businesses struggling to pay those bills?
Well, what we want to see is smart electricity decisions being made, because over the years we used to be one of the lowest cost jurisdictions for electricity, now we're one of the highest. If you look at our cost structure here in Ontario, it's really gone up. But what we really want to see is transparency, accountability, and cost-benefit analysis for electricity programs.
What have you heard locally from businesses here in the city and the county about some of their concerns?
Well, the concerns is not just where the costs are right now, but they're also projected to increase another 50 to 100% over the next 4 to 5 years. So again, we've really lost our competitive edge in terms of that. And I would point out we've lost about 75,000 manufacturing jobs here in Ontario, in large part due to the high electricity prices. So we have to get these costs down.
Earlier this week here on CBC News at 6, we had the Minister of Finance on the show with us tonight, bringing in some tax cuts for small businesses with the latest update. They've said that they've already lowered hydro rates. Is that not enough?
Well, it depends on who you're speaking with. I think from the government's perspective, they've lowered it temporary for this year. But if you've looked at the trajectory over the past 15 years, it's gone this way. We have a 1-year stabilization, and they're projected to go higher. So that's our concern. Secondly, the 1%, I think it's a step in the right direction. It's some of the cost offsets that we at the Chamber have asked for. But there's a broader picture here in terms of our competitive position here in Southern Ontario. We've got electricity prices that are 3 to 4 times the cost in our neighboring jurisdictions like Ohio. We have carbon taxes that they don't have. We have a higher wage structure. We have NAFTA and border uncertainty. So we have to make sure that our entire competitive position is being looked at, not just one thing here and one thing there. It's the package we're looking at.
Now, while I have you here on the newscast tonight, I wanted to talk to you about something that we've been talking about quite often, is the NAFTA negotiations. Right. 5th round going into this. They're back at the table today. Things haven't really been going well. How worried are you about the future of the NAFTA talks itself?
Well, I think we're all concerned. Our national president, Perrin Beatty, has been very active on it. We've had some network calls on it. We've been involved from top to bottom on this. A couple things from our concern, from the auto sector side, obviously the supply chains. We're concerned about content with respect to NAFTA. Another thing locally we're very concerned about are the commuters. We have about 6,000 to 7,000 commuters a day in the Windsor-Essex area with NAFTA-type visas, whether H1 NAFTA or so forth. We're concerned that those folks may be not part of the discussion. We need those folks to be part of the discussion. That's a big part of our local economy.
Matt, I appreciate your insight tonight. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you very much. Matt Marchand from the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce here on CBC News at 6.